Absolutely, yes, you have been destined to go on the path of divine union. That's why this journey has been calling you, calling out your name, your soul, your spirit. There's something in you that wouldn't let you rest until you come and merge in full union. And this journey is about love, about romance, about relationship, about girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wifey, everything that you think you know about love. And it's asking you to surrender everything and understanding what true love is with the capital L. So the path of divine union has led you to this moment right here as you're watching this video where I'm going to be sharing with you what it really means to come into divine union, how you can achieve this in this lifetime if you know that this is the path for you, and what other traps that you need to be aware of that actually blocks you from divine union. So let's get into it. We have our frankincense, what's it called? Incense that wants to accompany us. So the first thing that I'm hearing for you is that, this path of divine union is something that has been created and designed from the beginning of time. So ever since the fall, I don't want to say the fall of consciousness, it's more like the split because there's only the one consciousness. And when we're in this 3D world, everything is separated. So it's like it separates into the black and white, the day and night, the masculine, the feminine, right? The this and that, the left and right, right? So everything splits in this 3D realm because this 3D realm is the hall of mirrors, is the fragmented world. So the vision that was shown for you to help you understand this journey is that imagine a disco ball. Okay, yes, okay, go along with me, you'll see. Okay, so you have a disco ball and you see these like the fragments of the reflection, like the pieces of the disco ball that gives all these like lights and little spots of light. Okay, so imagine when you are in this, you're the whole crystal ball, you're in wholeness and completion. And that's when all the fragments of you is wholly integrated. But when you're in this 3D world, your job and your only job is to integrate or reintegrate or remember. Okay, we talked about this on this channel. Remembering all the members of the fragments, you are bringing them together. So the divine union path is the path of coming home with self, higher self, source, oneness, consciousness to become whole and complete. This is a spiritual process. This is not a love, la-di-da-di-da process. Because in the 3D world, what happens is that you play with fragments. Okay, this goes out, so thank you for your assistance. We are complete now. So in the 3D realm, it's all about fragments. You're playing with fragments. That's why you interact with people and you meet people, and they either trigger the F out of you or they confirm that this is so great about you. So what happened is that these are all parts of you that you're here to integrate, you're here to accept, you're here to learn about yourself, right? We're learning what oneness is. We're learning what consciousness is. We're learning what love is, the uppercase L, love. What this means is that when the consciousness come into this 3D realm, things get split, right? We have a body, we have a name, we have all these identity, we have the ego. So now we have to understand how to come together, right? How to master the material realm and master the spiritual realm. The divine union path, like I said, is a very spiritual path, and divine union happens in more of that 5D consciousness. So for you to understand and come into union with your divine partner, who is very much a physical, person here in this realm, you have to understand that you cannot operate from the 3D love template. You cannot operate from the outdated, the old paradigm of what love is, because what you were taught about love in this 3D realm is like messed up. It's all fragmented, right? Because the idea of this 3D is about the fragments. It's telling you that love is about give and take, okay? I give you, or you take, or I take and you give. Okay, what do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? It's like a freaking business transaction. Okay, and then when you're together, it's like, oh, you cannot do that. You need to stay with me. You need to do this with me. It's not love, it's control. Do you understand? It's not love, it's control. And it's not even love, it's like you don't even want them to be happy. How can you say that you actually love someone if they're like, I'm happy with someone else, and you don't let them be with someone else? Like, that's not true love. And it's very hard concept for the 3D world to understand, because they understand love is control, because that love template is based on the ego. But the 5D, the divine union, the true love, is based on unconditional love. Okay, please remember this. Unconditional love. And you cannot understand what unconditional love is if you don't know what consciousness is, if you don't know what oneness is. Because the oneness, God's love is unconditional. That's what it means. It means that God, universe, all that is, whatever you want to call it, there's no name. That one source of consciousness, it loves you unconditionally, meaning that if you want to do stupid shit, okay, I love you, you do that, no problem, right? If you want to go the path that you're meant to go on, good, I love you, no problem. It loves you unconditionally for you to explore this world, for you to be free, for you to be happy. So in that oneness, in that love, there's no right or wrong, because the only idea of right or wrong, left and right, this and that, this is better and this is less than, is of the ego mind, is of the 3D structure. So when you want to understand divine union, it's all about embodying all parts of you, all fragmented parts of you, and not looking at you. Like if you identify yourself as like a male or female or man or woman or whatever, the whole idea is to know that there's divine feminine energy within you, divine masculine within you. And these are the energies of the universe, the energy of you in verse. So this is the energy of knowing that you have both, right? You have the higher chakras and the lower chakras. I made a separate video explaining what this means. I'll link it down below, okay? So if you want to learn more about it, I have a whole series. And also, if you want me to continue with this Divine Union series, just comment below Divine Union series, okay? And then I'll continue to add to it, so I know you're interested. When we're tapping into this divine union template, we are no longer operating, left wing, right wing, this and that. It's I am this and that, okay? It's not I am this or that. You don't see the harshness, you don't see the contrast. You understand that the whole, it's like the yin and yang symbol, that's the energy of divine union. We need to come together. We need to bring the light and the darkness. And at the same time, if you look at the yin and yang symbol, there is the light in the darkness and there is the darkness in the light. We are always one. We were always part of each other. So now, getting to the juicy part, how do you manifest divine union in physical form in 3D? So you have to understand everything has to go at it first from the spiritual realm. So until you energetically and spiritually come into divine union within yourself, because this path is the path to inner union, fusing your feminine, fusing your masculine energy. These are your divine feminine and your divine masculine energy. Okay? It's not about being macho or being soft. It's not like that. Okay? It's more than that. The divine feminine is the energy of infinity and beyond. Divine feminine is the lighter energy. Okay? It's like the feminine flows into the spiritual realm. Play with the unknown. It's like water. Water flows. Water is infinite. Water doesn't have a form. That's why it can go anywhere. It can take shape in anything. And the divine masculine is the water bank, is the container, is here for you to materialize things in the 3D. So that's why a lot of the divine masculine template is being all like messed up in our fragmented world, same with the divine feminine template. So what you need to understand is that when you're operating from the negative ego in the divine masculine template, meaning that you really focus on what's good for me, like when you only focus on being selfish, when you only focus on vanity, when you only focus on objects and materialism, you're not getting the complete picture. So it's like another way of looking at it. It's like you have to learn how to fuse the two things. So if you look at yourself as I am John Smith, I am Jan Doe, I am Tiffany, okay, I am Mr. Anderson, you're looking at yourself and you are saying that you define yourself as your name, your age, your religious belief, your whatever it is, labels. And you don't see yourself as the divine. You don't see yourself, that without the source consciousness flowing through you, you wouldn't be alive. Like you think who you are is your personality, you think who you are is how you dress and how you look. It's not true, because you have totally shut out, God, the God consciousness within you. That's why they say ego is etching God out. So when you only operate from your avatar, you don't understand that there's this invisible substance, okay, that always that works without you, and without that invisible substance, there's no you, okay? If someone were to take away that invisible substance, and you're like, I am this, I am that, no, you're gonna just flop on the freaking floor and be like a piece of meat, okay? Sorry to be graphic here, but I want you to understand this. So this is why you have to always look at yourself, I am human and I am divine. Okay, I am human and I am divine. Say this with me, okay? Comment down below, write in your notebook, whatever it takes, right? I am human and I am divine. I honor both. So when you begin to activate this energy within you, you no longer look at money as money, because you'll never understand it. Okay, you never understand, oh, why am I so poor? Why do I struggle with money? Like, you will not understand these things because you're looking at it physically. You're looking at money like a piece of like paper, which is meaningless. Okay, but you have to look at it energetically, which I'm not going to go into. If you want me to go into, money and the energetics and what I've learned that like totally changed my life, wealth and all of that new earth codes, I made one video already, but if you want me to make another one, let me know. I can go deeper into that. Comment below conscious wealth, and I'll go into that for you here. The energy of you knowing that love is not a relationship. Okay, so in the 3D, in that only masculine, the lower masculine, it's like love is possession. Love is just this. It's like Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, right? It's like, I want Belle to be my wife because she is the best looking out of this whole town. It's like he doesn't even love her. He only wants her as like a prized possession, like a trophy wife type thing. So you have to be aware of these things. Do you want someone because they look good on paper? Do you want someone because you have this list? Like, I want him to be 6 foot tall. I want her to have a voluptuous body. I want him to, give me money and give me all of these things. And then I want her to be responsible for my happiness. You know what I mean? Like, all of these things, you're outsourcing it and you're not seeing it properly. You only want to take from somebody, and you don't understand that it's a fusing, it's a coming together because you're one. So the divine union path, I feel like I'm sweating right now. I didn't turn on my AC. Okay, anyway, we're just gonna sweat here. The divine union path is you have to understand that to come into union with your partner in this physical realm is that they are not separate from you. And it's like, what? You mean they're not separate from me? This is the thing. You have to think about it energetically. You're one soul. From the beginning of time, it's like the one consciousness, and then it keeps on breaking and breaking and breaking. You came here, like your soul, think of your soul as like this one bubble thing, okay? This one bubble thing, and because your soul comes here in this 3D realm, it splits, right? It splits into the masculine, it split into the feminine. So first, the split is like within you, right? You have the feminine energy, you have the masculine energy, you have the left, and you have the right. And then it further splits into another being. Like, right, your divine masculine becomes your masculine partner, like as a person, and you become the feminine, or vice versa, okay? You put yourself where you are. So what happened is that ever since the split, it's automatic, it's designed that we want to come back to the source, right? It's like ever since we have separated from consciousness, what do we want to do? We want to go back to consciousness, right? It's like the whole moment when you begin, you were born, you're dying, right? And you want to come back to source. And when you awaken to this life, this spiritual, this awareness, this spiritual journey, what do you want? You want oneness, right? You want harmony, you want unity. And what is harmony, what's unity, what's oneness? It's like all that is the spirit. But the thing is, when you come into the spirit, there's no you. You lose form, you lose the ego, you become like everything and everyone and all at once. You don't have an experience. Okay, so a lot of people say, I want enlightenment, I want enlightenment. I don't really believe you actually want enlightenment because it feels terrible. It doesn't even feel terrible. It feels like nothing because it is nothing. It's everything and nothing. So that's why you have to learn to appreciate the 3D life. It's like you're in a game, you're in a simulation. You're here to learn and to collect these parts of you. So it's really fun. So what all of this means is that you have to have appreciation for your spiritual self, and you have to have appreciation for your 3D self, because without these terrible lessons, you wouldn't learn. Without the narcissist, you wouldn't learn to stand up for yourself. Without these toxic relationships and people, you wouldn't learn what true healthy love and self-love and all of that is. So everything here is a lesson. That's why they call it Earth School. Okay, and by the way, I have a free school community down below. It's called Awaken, where we just mingle. It's pretty chill. Okay, and I have extra resources and activations and stuff like that. So if you want to stay connected, you can click on that below. The energy of you knowing that your divine counterpart is you. Okay, it's you. It's that masculine part of you. This is gonna give you a clue of where they're at and why you're not into union. Because let's say that you're the feminine and you have issues with your masculine part. So basically you struggle with things like money. You struggle with things like control. You struggle with things like, materializing things. Like you have an idea for your project, your business, and you don't do it. These are masculine traits. These are divine masculine traits, because divine masculine is that it takes the feminine creative idea and downloads and bring it to life. So the divine masculine energy really masters and leads in the material realm, right? So that's why, a lot of divine feminine energy, you kind of want that protector energy. You want that provider energy. You want that, it's like the strong, sexy man kind of energy. And all of that is being programmed, for you to know that the masculine energy is here to protect you in this 3D realm, is here to provide for you in this 3D realm, is here to materialize things for you in this 3D realm, right? So what that means is that until you energetically embody these traits, protector, protectress, provider, right? Being secure, okay, secure in yourself, being confident in who you are, doing what you're here to do, right? It's about the doing, not just being. When you don't internalize all of these things, when you don't embody all of these things, guys, I am sweating up in here. When you don't do that, you're going to, it's getting hot. You're not going to have it being reflected out, because you have nothing for it to reflect it out. This is what the whole thing is about. The divine union is you coming into union with your divine feminine and your divine masculine. If you don't have that become whole, then your whole person is not going to be reflected out. So what happens is that you're only playing with the fragments. So you're seeing all these guys, all these gals who are fragmented of you. So even if they come close, they'll never be, because they're still fragments. Because there's only that one person, that one true love, that one soul, that is your true divine match. I'm telling you, there's only that one divine match that is your soul core frequency that is split out. So everything else and everyone else is fragments. There are things like soulmates, but your soulmate is not your divine match. It's not your soul match, okay? Your soulmate, they're more part of your family, your soul family. So actually, I really believe you're not really meant to be with your soulmate. You can have relationship, but it'll never really work out. It'll never be that like depth, that like a twin flamesy type of energy, because you're twin souls, okay? Twin souls are different from soulmate, okay? Soulmate, they're gonna still feel separate from you, because they're not your true mirror. But your soul match is literally you. You move here, they're gonna move there. It's like you're mirroring each other because they are you. So back to what I was saying about when you don't integrate your divine masculine energy, you expect you expect someone. Okay, you expect some macho man, okay, to be the protector, the provider. You expect to marry a rich husband for him to provide for you, and you don't integrate these energies within you. The thing is, it's never going to be true. So it doesn't mean that you have to become, you have to make a lot of money in order for you to attract someone who makes a lot of money. It's not tick for tack, it's not like that. But it's about the energy embodiment, right? So like when someone disrespects you, do you stand up for yourself? You know what I mean? So maybe your masculine counterpart would be the one be like, yo, don't mess with my girl. You know, like that's more like how they would be. But for you, do you say, hey, excuse me, please do not disrespect me. You know, don't talk to me like that. That's not okay, right? So like, do you stand up for yourself? So it's kind of similar energy. It doesn't have to be exact, right? So you need to embody all these traits that you want your divine masculine partner to be, because that's the only way you can attract them, that you be them. Okay? You attract what you are. That's the law of attraction. The law of attraction brings you together because there's always that magnetism that works. It's like you always want to come back to source. You always want to come back to oneness. Same thing. You always want to come back to each other. So there's already this magnetism that brings you both together into union. So it's like you don't really have to do much outside except for being that whole and complete version of you inside, right? Oh my God, what kind of video is this, guys? But okay, we're getting hot. We're getting hot and sweaty up in here. What else? So yes, so now, you know, your feminine part, right? So if you're more of the divine masculine energy, if you look at yourself more as like a man or like a masculine, whatever person, your job is to heal your masculine, but also you have to integrate and embody your feminine. So, you know, maybe you grew up and thinking that, oh, real men don't cry. Real men need to just do. We need to be unfeeling. We need to be stoic. Okay? So whatever that energy is, like that's cute. That's important. You know, that's important for you to master, you know, certain things in this lifetime. But for you to come into divine union, you have to embody that feminine energy within you, because you know, what do you want? If you're like macho and stoic, like what do you attract? You're gonna attract another masculine. Okay, and so you know you're gonna see yourself having all these bros, you know, connecting to you, but like where is your beautiful, divine, feminine, you know, counterpart? They ain't there. Okay, you know, attract some weird versions of them and fragmented type of people who only wants you for your exterior, right? So if you lead with like a more armored type of energy, you're gonna attract people who wants your armor. So your armor could be your money, okay? Your armor could be like, what you bring to the table, you know? Your armor could be like, your mansions and your house and whatever, right? So people are gonna want the material things because you lead with the exterior, heavy, dense armor. So you actually need to like connect more with your intuition. You need to connect more with the flow. You need to learn to let go of control and allowing for the unknown, for the great mystery, doing something you've never done before, and being silly and allowing yourself to fall over and fumble and lose control kind of thing, right? Because if you think about falling in love and stuff, it's losing control. It's scary. You know? Have you seen Eat, Pray, Love, by the way, anyone? Okay, I love that movie. And it's like you have to lose your control sometimes for you to come into your truth, because you can't just think that you control everything. So you have to really loosen the grip and connect with that energy of warmth, right? Of loving yourself, right? Of speaking and saying what you really want, how you really feel. Because if you say, hey, I want this, you know, beautiful divine feminine partner, and I want her to love me and, you know, give me affection and kissy me and cuddle me and, you know, do all these things and be cutesy with me or whatever, right? But you're not like that with yourself. When you look at yourself, you're like, men don't cry. We don't talk about feelings or whatever it is, right? You're not soft with yourself. And when you don't embody that energy in which you seek, you cannot have it. Because again, this world, it's like you need to have something to reflect out. Because so if you don't have that beautiful feminine energy reflecting out, then you cannot attract that. They don't exist because you don't allow it to come to you. Okay? So it's like, think of yourself as the mirror. Everything has to start from you. You're the projector. You're the projector. You need to embody this energy so then the outer world has something to reflect back to you tangibly. Okay? So what happens now is that you have to ask yourself, where am I outsourcing my wants and needs? Where am I saying, I want a woman to be this for me, I want a man to be this for me, when you don't want to be that for yourself? Okay? I want a savior. I want someone to just take my pain away. Some effing how. Honey, you're the one, you understand? You're the one that you've been looking for all this time, and there's only you. There's only the one consciousness. The person that you're meant to be with, the divine union, it already happens in the higher realm. You have to understand, if you are awakened to this journey, if you know that you're meant for this, it's already destined from the beginning of time. So that's why you're always going to come back to each other, whether it's lifetimes, past life, future life, you're going to find each other because your soul is magnetized to each other because you're one soul. It's like your left part and your right part wants to come together. It's just already happening. But for you is to release all these conditioning, all these blocks, and take back these fragments to become that beautiful shining crystal ball, okay, that disco ball, for you to experience oneness within, for you to experience heaven on earth, for you to experience true love, for you to experience the love that is you. So if you don't model to yourself the kind of love that you're here to experience, you're never going to experience your true divine match. Like I said, you can have beautiful relationship, you can have beautiful whatever, okay, even marriage and stuff. Like you can have all of that in this lifetime, but inside they're not your divine match. And maybe some of you guys don't know or don't want to think about it because it's kind of a hard thing to think about, and sometimes you deny it. But I really believe when you are awakened to this, you will know, because that person, okay, it's never about a person. It's about your union with self, your union with source, and they are just the physical manifestation of your divine counterpart energy. That person or that energy is going to show you everything about yourself. They're your greatest, truest, most intense mirror. They are you. So you're gonna see that you have similar vision. You're meant to, because it's you, okay? It's like maybe for you to get to your next level, you need this extra masculine support or feminine support, and then you find each other and fulfill that mission, because divine union is based on God energy. It's based on consciousness. It's based on elevation, ascension. So it's always based on soul purpose. So you're gonna find that you and your counterpart has similar direction, purpose, and they are the perfect click, yin to your yang, yang to your yin, okay, for you to ascend higher, for you to take what you are here to do, your mission, to the next level. So there has to be that ascension, that continuous growing and learning process. So they're not gonna feel like dragging you down. This person will never drag you down. They can trigger the F out of you, but everything is about you're gonna start to learn and grow together. Whereas certain karmic partners or certain soul mate type of relationship, you're gonna feel like your path is gonna split, okay? So with your true divine match, your soul match, you're never really splitting, okay? Because you're one soul, so you're always on this path. You're always on this kind of similar parallel path until you merge, until you know that this is your soul match. So what you're going to also see when you recognize your divine counterpart is that it's a recognition. It's a remembrance and it's a recognition. It's not like, oh, wow, you're such a great person. Let's fall in love. Okay, oh, I think your body is hot. Let's hook up. It's not really like that. It's like they just activate you very spiritually. So you're going to remember past life, future life, parallel lives. Tongue twister. You are going to be reminded of your purpose, expanding more into your purpose. It's just like there's just like a vortex. So when you tune into the energy, or when you hug, or when you eye contact, or like whatever, like that, coming together in any way that feels really close, physically or anything like that, you're gonna see the stars and the universe and the galaxy within them. Let me know if you ever experienced this. And then when they look at you, they're gonna see like this eternal bright light. And that's the Christ consciousness, okay? That's the sunlight, that's the light of God. So they're gonna see this, it's like the yin and yang. It's like the sun and the moon. And the sun and the moon is the greatest love story of all time. It's the greatest cosmic love story at all time. And the divine union path is the greatest love story of the universe, of the feminine and the masculine coming together, of the yin and yang merging together as the night and day merging together as one. So that's why, we find sunset and sunrise, these in-between moments, so beautiful and so romantic. And it's because it's the merging, it's when they come together. It's like that solar eclipse energy. A lot of faded events and destiny happens during these eclipses energy. That's why I make these videos on my channel. It's when the masculine and the feminine come together, and this is when you will realize that you're actually never apart. You were always one, remembering each other in separateness. So it's not like I come to you, you're this piece and I'm that piece. It's not really like that. It's like you're one living separateness in a separateness energy. And then when you realize we were always one, we were always destined to be together, we were always one, and you merge together, and then everything dissolves, and then you will see and you will understand, if you have this level of consciousness, that nothing in this world is real other than love, other than consciousness. So all of these things are going to fall down. All the play of this 3D stage is going to fall down. You know that you're not living in the real world, because the only thing that feels real is love, is your counterpart, is you coming together and creating this vortex of consciousness and oneness. And they are going to be the closest thing that you can experience when it comes to oneness, in unconditional love, and source, God's love. Okay? And you're gonna get that. And you're gonna just love this soul unconditionally, because you learn how to love yourself unconditionally. So again, you're here to teach each other oneness and unconditional love. And you have to detach from what that person is in their path, because they're not separate from you. They are you, okay? So just know that if you are not healed, then, well, you're not coming then, okay? Together, you can come together, but it's not harmonious, it's not true, okay? So the true merge, the true path is about the inner union. It's about meeting together, the masculine and the feminine, meeting together, the heart portal. You need to be opening your heart. And most people's hearts are blocked. They put this wall of, like, what's it called? The wall of China, the wall of, what is it called? The Great Wall of China, okay? They put all of these walls all around their heart, blocking up, because the heart is where you store memories, you store pain, you store emotion, you store knowledge. It's why the Akashic records can be accessed. But when you shut down from emotional pain, abuses, and trauma, and all these things that you grew up, and you become afraid to open up, you cannot love, you cannot experience love. So the greatest path for you to experience the spiritual energy, that you are this infinite, eternal love that you are, energetically and also physically, being one, coming together, is the path of the heart. If you think you're strong, well, can you soften? That's the real strength, okay? And if you think you're soft, can you strengthen up and saying, I'm not just here to entertain everyone and their mom, you know? I'm here to have standards. I'm here to know that my path is of this and it's a 10 out of 10 or it's a none for me. Okay, so you have to heal unworthiness wounds. You have to learn to heal standards and boundaries, and knowing that you are destined for the best love. You are destined for the truest, purest, cosmic love, the greatest love of all time. And it's not a romantic thing. It's not a lovey-dovey, love-obsessed thing. It's a very spiritual process. And only the ones who are able to transcend the 3D world and being really connected with that new earth consciousness, that 5D realm, you can come into union, okay? Because when you're operating from that higher template, you're still experiencing the physicalness of life, but the way you think, the way you approach love is a whole new different template. So it's like you get the best of both worlds. You get the physical union and you get the spiritual union. Right? Because actually the true union with source, you don't really feel anything, you're just one. You're just like infinite, eternal spirit, invisible, you know, all that is, you're dark and you're light and there's no you anymore, okay? So this is why that 5D shift or that in that consciousness is what union already is. Okay, so you just have to kind of work yourself there through the healing, through the shedding, through the cosmic remembrance, through knowing what is illusion, what is the fragmented kind of love, and what is wholeness. So you have to come into wholeness. You have to come into harmony and unity with self. So if you want me to talk more about that, oh my gosh, there is so much to talk about. I cannot possibly, include in this video about how to come into union, how you come into unity, how you can come into harmonization of these two energies for you to feel the best you could ever feel, live the best life you could ever live, be in your purpose, find the confidence, and then boom, everything lands. Okay, so let me know down below if you want me to make more of these videos. And if you enjoyed it, I want to hear your experience. I want to hear, what you got out of it. I'd love to read your comments below. Like this video if you want more of it. That will signal to me that you enjoyed our energies and our time here. Subscribe to the channel, because we post here every single day, and down below is where you can work with me one-on-one and all of the beautiful resources. This is Tina Wong. I love you so much. You've got this. This is a beautiful journey, and I will see you on the next one.